Hello everyone, this is RedTechShoe, and I have my very first Force of Will deck profile for you, so I'd like to go through it, so let's get right into it. First off, it's going to be a red-white deck, and first off we're going to go into Percival. I run 4 of her. Percival is an amazing card. I like the fact that she can allow me to manipulate my hand as I see fit. I can search out for another Regalia or Knight of the Round Table, and since I'm running quite a decent number of each, it gives me options, and whenever I have a great number of options, it usually bodes well for me. Next up, we have 4 Guinevere. Guinevere is an amazing card. Like I said, hand manipulation. I love the fact that these two allow me to control my hand. I can discard a card that I don't want. I just throw it away if I can't use it. If I'm too heavy on white or red and I don't have the right mana for it, I can just pitch whatever high cost card I have. So I like the fact that these two work very well together in giving me the ability to manipulate my hand as I see fit, so I can try my best to control and win the match. Next up, we got 4 Lancelot. Lancelot, no real surprise here. Good power for a 2-drop at 600. And his ability to get strong really fast is actually impressive. And I don't really use his own ability to tap him to increase. What I do is I combo him with my next card, and that is Gawains. I love dropping multiple Gawains with Lancelots just to beef this guy up to 1,000, so I get to use his ability to burn something for 700. That means that these two in unison can clear a board, and not only that, but Gawain also combos well with Percival, and the fact that I can block with Gawain, and then I can use Percival to I can sacrifice her, and whatever, and Gawain will live through the block, won't die this turn. And then Gawain's ability to rest my opponent's target resonator, so that if they're attacking with 2 big guys, I block one with him so long as it doesn't have flying. I block with Gawain, the first attack is stopped, and then Gawain's ability can rest the other resonator and allow me to not take any damage that turn from those 2. Next up, we've got Snow White. I'm only running 3 of her. I was running 4, but I decided to tone it down to 3 just because I wasn't using her as often. If she was a 2-drop, I would be using her all damn day. But as a 3-drop, she's late to the party because I'm running, Lancelots and Gawains and Percivals and Guineveres. So as a 3-drop, she's a little late to the party, and I'm usually already in the flow of things. And she just does not. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a great card, but I wish she was a 2-drop. If she was a 2-drop, she'd be flat out fucking amazing. But as a 3, I don't use her as much as I use everything else. Next up, we got 3 Belvedere. Belvedere is kind of situational. That's not why I'm only running 2, and I might even tone it down to 1. But as a 3-drop, this guy allows me to take whatever monster that they've got that's over 1,000. A big guy, especially if it's flying, because I can't really do much about flying in this deck. But if it's over 1,000, he'll pop it. So it's situational but useful when it does. The only problem is, I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of feel like I'm a little heavy on the fires, so I don't really have that much. Sometimes he can clog my hand. Sometimes I'll draw like 3 fires in a row, and then he'll just be totally dead. So I'll have to discard him with Guinevere. So it does happen from time to time, but that's why I've only toned him down. That's why I've cut him down to 2, and I might cut him down to 1. But right now, this deck is still experimental. I need to do more play testing with it. But right now, 2 has been a fine number for me. I don't know moving forward if I might increase it or decrease it, but I'll probably keep him where he is for right now. Next up, we've got some more experimentals in Gareth, the Dauntless Knight, and then Gwyber, the White Dragon. Gwyber is actually pretty useful for me. I love the fact that he can make himself easier. I'll drop 1 Percival and then 1 Guinevere, and then I just drop Gwyber here for 1. Like literally, since I played 2 creatures this turn, he reduces his own cost down to just 1 light, so I can drop him on turn 3 very easily. This guy, Gareth, he's pretty situational, just like Belvedere. I just like to use him as an 800 attacker, and if he would be dealt 700 damage or less, prevent it. So he has to be taken out in one big attack or 1 ability. He can't just be slowly weakened over time. So there is that ability. Nice, that does make him a decent blocker. But I'm only running 1 of him, just like Gwyber, because he's situational and he is a 3-drop. I'm not a huge fan of things that are 3 or higher, just because they're a little late to the party. As I said, I usually like to have fun with my Gawains and my Lancelots, so As a 3-drop, he's going to be a little late to the party, so hopefully I can find more ways to make use of him. Next up, for spells, we've got Thunder. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to explain it. You know, if there's something with 500 defense or lower and it needs to die, this is one of the best cards in the game to do it. Flame King Shout, pretty useful, especially if I have limited fire mana. I can play this to weaken my opponent's monsters, and then I just drop a Snow White, and then Snow White comes out and attacks immediately and burns something else. Very useful, excellent combo with Snow White. And next up, we've got the Regalia. We've got Change the World. That's what I just call it Change the World, you know. But Change the World is pretty useful. It just gives my J Ruler counters after counters. And then I can, you know, use the other ability of Change the World. I can just tap to recover target Resonator. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, my J Ruler. Sorry, not my Resonator. I was thinking of something else. And then I can also play Artemis Bow. Artemis Bow is very, very fun. Right when I drop it on turn 1 or turn 2 with Change the World, it really lets me set the pace. It lets me control what I want my opponent to attack with and what I want them to block with. And if I can control my opponent's actions and what they do, then this card is, you know, worth it. It's worth the slots. So, especially when I drop multiples. I've had 2 of these in my opening hand and no Change the Worlds. I drop these 2, my opponent hesitates to attack because they don't want to lose, you know, important cards, you know, and I could just block, and I could just use Percival's and Gawaine's and, you know, and Lancelot's to just block all the weak ones. But when they attack with something big, and they don't want to lose it, you know, this card comes in handy because I just, you know, I could just easily pop whatever they have that I don't want them to attack with. Next up, we have some more experimental stuff. We got Justice of the God Swords and Protection of the Seraph. These 2 are pretty much just experimental. I'm testing them out. I decided to mix them in because they're 1 cost. They're very, very cheap, easy to get, easy to play, and they're a little situational, but they have proved rather fun and useful. So I look forward to using them more and seeing if they make the final cut. And last but not least, we're looking at, for creatures, we're looking at the J Ruler, and that is Refrain. Obviously, since we're running the Orb of Illusion, we want to maximize the number of counters we can put on this guy, and Refrain is one of the best cards in the meta right now. You know, you just can't really complain, especially when I have the capacity to search out Gwyber with his ability. So if I have Guinevere and Percival on turn 3, I can J-activate him, and then I'll just search out Gwyber and just go ham from right there, and then I could just flip them back over on my opponent's turn, which is pretty cool. And then I could just continue to add more counters. Now for Magic Stones, we've got 4 Rulers of Memoria, then 3 red and 3 white. And that's really it. That's my entire deck profile. It's a red-white Refrain deck that uses Knights of the Round Table, as well as a few Tekkens, you know, and the Regalia is Change the World and Artemis Bows. So it's pretty useful in that you know, I've been playing around when I was on leave, and I actually held my own against, you know, and as I was learning, I was holding my own, which isn't too bad. It's a decent sign that I have a somewhat decent build. I wouldn't say it's the strongest version of the red-white Refrain build, but I would say that this has definitely been a successful deck that I've built, and I look forward to tuning it and tweaking it out and making it just a little bit better bit by bit, especially with the new sets coming out. I look forward to them and seeing what they can add to the mix. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, comment below. Send me some suggestions on what you think I should use. You know, maybe some good Tekkens in case these 2 cards don't work. You know, send me some suggestions in case, you know, what you think I should tone down or add more of. If I can, obviously. I can't add 4 copies. I can't have 5 copies of Percival and Guinevere. I think that would be a little unfair. But anyway, leave me your suggestions, comment down below. I'll see you guys all later. This is RadTechShoe signing off.